James Foster is a loser. James, played by Alexander Skarsgård, finds himself on the beach in a tacky resort with his nagging wife M, played by Cleopatra Coleman. James is a failed writer whose last book garnered horrible reviews and dismal sales. James has suffered a writer's block for the past 6 years and hopes to find his muse at this resort, an idea both James and M realize is stupid.
Where are we?
This was your idea, remember? Feeling inspired yet?
The awkward breakfast is interrupted by a local protester trying to scare away the tourists. This is when James is approached by the only fan he's ever met, Gabby, played by Mia Goth. Gabby convinces James and M to have a dinner with her and her husband Albin, played by Jalil Lesper. I probably pronounced that wrong.
Jalil Lesper.
Albin is an architect, and Gabby can generously be called an actress.
No one can cut bread with a knife.
No
one.
Albin asks if James has been working, given his 6-year hiatus, and M needles him that he doesn't have to work, given that he married rich to an heiress of a publishing empire.
What do you do for money then? Do you teach or?
You married rich. I'm in danger of becoming a charitable organization at this point.
Does it matter that James's only fan is an Airhead infomercial actress? Of course not. James is too swept up in the elation of this fated meeting, so much so that he agrees to go off-site with them the next day, to M's disapproval. It seems M takes every chance to degrade James. James just takes it like a doormat, and Gabby is there for emotional support. Everyone is drunk, but James offers to drive them back and runs over a local. James and M are dragged away the next morning, with James staring down his execution. The detective offers James a deal to swap himself out with a 1-to-1 double. The detective states that this is a part of the country's program to uphold diplomatic relations and the tourism industry. M pays the fee. Both are forced to watch James's double murdered by the son of his victim. Wait, what? Why are the real James and M right there in the room with the family of his victim? How can the family get closure knowing that the man that murdered their father is still walking free? Simple. This is a sham execution. That's weird to say. It's not for the family, it's for the tourists. More specifically, this is a form of sex tourism for those that come to this resort. James has inexplicably lost his passport and is intercepted by Gabby. She introduces him to her group of friends who have all gone through this before. It takes little to convince James to join them on a rampage through the country, breaking every law they can to witness their glorious deaths. The group comments on the nature of whether they are the original versions of themselves or some level of body double. Do you worry they got the wrong man? Do you think, looking back on it, that they killed the real James? For all you know, they could have just swapped you out. I'll never know if I'm really myself for as long as I live. Exactly. So who cares? What do you think, James? Do you fear you may have just witnessed your own demise? I can only hope. When your body and mind are all perfectly replicated, does it matter? These people are no longer human. They are, by their own words, zombies, having experienced a reverse ego death. Instead of experiencing the universe as one and foregoing oneself, these people have foregone death and its consequence to such a degree that all life means nothing to them. The body double creation is like a kaleidoscope. The souls of James and his new buddies are ripped apart and recreated endlessly. Many of the establishing shots run with this imagery of repeating images, including the cloning process. But like a kaleidoscope, this portrays only the illusion of depth. We are not seeing different versions of James. All of the Jameses we see are a part of him, and they are all losers. Gabby tricks our protagonist into beating up and pissing on a clone of himself, and this triggers something in him. Gabby offers James a threesome, but his self-image and his self are both battered and bruised. James tries to leave the country, but is quickly intercepted by the zombies.
You're so pathetic, James. This whole time we've been laughing at you. I never read your book. You're so vain, James, to actually believe that we read it. It's sort of funny, but really more than anything, it's depressing.
James barely makes his escape and finds shelter with the locals until the group finds him again. Gabby offers an ultimatum to either kill the dog before him or else he be killed, and James stands his ground. But as we know, James is a loser and is attacked by his double. After murdering himself, James collapses into Gabby's arms and sucks the blood off Gabby's teeth. James is officially reborn, having been blooded into the cult. With the tourist season over, we see the group all leave as if nothing happened. Albin, Gabby, and the rest were not human. They can wear the mask back home, but does not cover up the abuse inflicted upon the locals. Even with this technology, to literally create life, the government uses it to perpetuate the sex tourism industry. The locals can do nothing but impotently protest their material condition. The name Infinity Pool comes from the first execution Albin experienced. When Albin was contracted to build an infinity pool in the resort, 2 workers died. The pool was going to be sexy and extravagant with a see-through floor. Everyone could see what the rich were doing. They can look up and watch at the debauchery unfolding. But just like in the real world, there's not a damn thing you can do about it. This infinity pool was just going to be another representation of this decadence, the illusion of depth, but it's all there for everyone to see. How can you go back to the real world? Back to your real life? You tried to escape the heel of an overbearing woman, but you can't escape who you are. How can you face reality when everyone, including yourself, knows that James Foster is a loser?